Hello, everybody. Patrick Costas here with my wonderful assistant, Anna. And I think we got some pretty big news here that we wanted to share with you. I'm going to give it a minute, though, for some folks to join us. And actually, I got to get my other device on here. So let's just go ahead and do that. Everybody get situated, get a soda or beer or, you know, whatever. Some states even have other things. Some states. All right. Make sure it's on live chat. All right. I think we're good to go. All righty. Hey, Moondrop. All right. Okay. So I want to be very careful explaining this. So I've run it over a couple times. So I need some props here. So just bear with me. But I'm going to go through it once, and then if there's anything that anybody doesn't understand, or if I didn't make something clear, just let me know. Hey, Mark, how's it going, man? All right, so let me get on it. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. So I'm not going to look at the comments here for a minute. I'm going to go through the broadcast here, or go through our little spiel. And I got to give Anna credit. We found this together, so it wasn't just me. I want to make that clear. My daughters helped me a lot with this. All right, so let me go to screens, save. All right, share. Do. Okay, let me make sure I'm on the right stuff here. Okay. All right, so what we're looking at right here, sorry. What we're looking at right here is the door logs right before the shooting. Now you can see it goes from so it goes, the higher you go, the closer to the shooting it gets, to make it clear. Now remember, from the Las Vegas report, they say the shooting began at 22:05, which is 10:05 p.m. So the part that I want everybody to pay attention to is right here at 9:31. Oopsie, dang it! I did it again, Anna. Okay, maybe this is better. I could zoom in a little better here. Okay, so the part that I want you to pay attention to is right here. Now look at this at 9:31. At 9:31, there's an error, no access to this room, and this is the card that was swiped. The last four, 2919. Okay, and then immediately after that, guest card accepted. Beep, it worked. And he got in. So he used another card, a different card. Okay, he got in. The door is opened. The door is closed. Now, the way the system works, it can't tell if the person came in or not, or didn't come in. However, the system can tell if the door was opened from the inside. So just keep that in mind. So you see, he got in. So again, you see he got an error. Then he switched and used a different card. The door opened and the door closed. And I want you to remember, this is at 9:31 p.m. Now, and this is in room 134. So this is the one with the cart in front of it. Okay, now we're looking at the log for 135. This is the other one, the one where the SWAT breached into it. Now, what I want you to look at is the part right here where it says, starting right here at 9:32. Now, remember, we just came off of 9:31 was the last activity, and that was on 134. So 1 minute later, 1:35, error, no access to this room. Okay, so using that card didn't work. Error, no access to this room again. Huh, that's strange. Door is opened from the inside. Okay, how is Paddock on the outside swiping his card, not getting in, if the door was open from the inside? How is he in two places at once? Please tell me what you think. And I'm sorry if I didn't explain it real well. We were up late looking at this, and we kind of threw it together when I came home and work. So I don't know how well the presentation was, but please let me know what you think about that. Oh, hey Brian, I see you there. Hey Pastor Mo in the house. So basically, with my whole premise here, my hypothesis is, if you will, just to put it over again, at 1:34 at 9:31 p.m. you have an error, no access to this room with card 2919. Huh, that's weird. Then boom, guest card accepted. Oh, he used the other card. The door is open, the door is closed, and then a few minutes later there's more activity. But before then, remember this is 9:31. Now we switch over to room 135 at 9:32. Air 2965. Let's see, was that card ever used on here? Yes, it was. Okay, so go back again. But air didn't work. Didn't work. Doors open from the inside. Do you guys see what I'm saying? If it was brought up, I had never heard of it before. So this is one thing. I mean, I never heard this one before, and I'm glad that we went through the data. But I don't see any way around this. So I don't know how it was ever presented before, but this is concrete proof. As far, I mean, well, of course they'll just say the door was broke, but um, if you want any kind of valid proof that was in that report that points to more than one person being involved, I don't know what else it would be. So please let me know. Oh, I didn't see a UFO hunter, but the point being, this is being what it is. So what do you guys think with this evidence being presented here, wherever it was heard? Don't you think that proves that there is more than one person involved? Oh, that's good. Brian said it explained it better. See, I swear I never saw that other video. I apologize, but even if I did though, I would still want to go research it for myself. And I'm actually like, I didn't even we wrote this out on three different sheets of paper. We got really crazy with it because I thought I must be seeing I'm missing something. So I kept looking at the minutes. Oh, by the way, we're working on a really good video that's going to show you. It's going to show the whole 30 minutes prior to the shooting, or all the activity prior to the shooting. We'll tell you that way, involving the doors and airs and all that type of stuff. So, and I mean, I don't see any other way. I really don't see any other way. Air, card accepted. The door is opened, door is closed. Okay, then there's some more activity later on. But before then, in 135, air, air. Oh, the door's open from the inside. Uh, uh, And Moondrop says, "Yeah, we get no answer from Lombardo." Uh, I wonder. I don't know. This is the thing. This is concrete proof that they provided. I mean, I don't know. I think we could probably do something with this to get an answer, considering anything else that a reporter pulls up. I don't know. I think elected officials might even somebody might want to make the name for themselves. But this is evidence they provided. This is like the Warren report, pointing to another shooter, essentially, is what it is with their own evidence. But the thing is, I mean, it made sense to me and it made sense to my daughter, but it was one of those things where I really wanted to go over this with everybody else, that followers on on my channel, to see what you guys think. Am I nuts, or is there another explanation? I mean, please shoot holes in this if you can. I mean, I don't see. And you could see, like, a little bit afterwards, you see the door right when they open the door from the inside, and then they swipe the card while the door's still open, and then he swipes another card, then the door is closed and open from the inside. I mean, it's just bizarre. Oh, that's good. Did you see that? See that one from Brian? Sorry, Brian's pointing that out to my daughter there. So yeah, the cards, if you look, okay, so you have 2965, and again, we're looking at room 135. So 134, 2965, 2919. Same ones used over here. But like I said, the real clincher is you cannot be swiping the card, getting errors, and simultaneously be inside the room. Hey, Bob. And Bob thinks that it means that there's two people is the most likely explanation. I mean, if there's any other explanation, I'd love to. I mean, I'm pretty sure that even if we did somehow get somebody with some influence to somehow corner Lombardo to get an answer about this, they would probably say, oh, it's an error with the door. Or they'd, pawn it off on Mandalay Bay to explain, and they'd say, oh, well, it's not exact. I mean, one thing if you'll notice that makes it a real pain is it doesn't give you seconds. It only gives you the hour and minute. So when the date, which I guess that's helpful, but and they gave, there's pages and pages of the stuff, but the only thing, and we went through every single thing that went on in that room, but the only thing that really came out at us was that section right there. So, I mean, that's their evidence. And Moondrop says, if doing a video on airs, check out September 30th at 6:13 a.m. Door is closed, deadbolt thrown. Then the door is open from the inside. How is the door opened with the deadbolt thrown? Interesting. Room 135, Moondrop says. And Pastor Mo says, you don't have to sell me on two or more people being involved in this. I'm with you on this. You can't be in both places if the door has to be closed to activate the report. And that's according to this thing, that's how it works. And, I've gone through the days of it leading up, and I've gone through the aftermath of it. And, the only thing where I really see a bad overlap like that is right there. And that'd be between 931 and 933, and between those two rooms. And like I say, I'm working on a visual presentation video that'll show this, but I want to warn you right now that I'm not able to determine with much accuracy the seconds, because as you can see, they didn't bother I don't know if the system doesn't pick it up. I would find that kind of hard to believe. I think when they did a search on this, they intentionally left the seconds out. I don't know why, but I'm kind of familiar with how you run searches like this, and you can usually decide how far out you want it to go in seconds, or do you just want hour or whatever. So I think this is just the way they released it. So it'd be nice if if they do have a better version of this that would have the seconds, that would be extremely helpful. And Pastor Mo says, honestly, I think they could have doctored this report, but in doing so, they have messed up their own selves up. And then Brian Bacchus says, like I said before, they could release a video of an actual shooter on the ground mowing people down, and still there'd be no mention of it on MSM. Only people like us would give a shit. And that's the sad truth. It really is. And yeah. It's depressing. But, those people really deserve answers. 58 innocent people died, plus the families. Can you imagine what they're going through? Those 911 calls, I'm sure a lot of us have listened to them, but you hear the phone calls of husbands looking for wives, or parents looking for kids. I mean, can you imagine that? And it's so sad that we can't even get clear answers, from our own. I mean, the law enforcement is the government, and we can't get any answers. I'd like to believe that, hey, if we really, bang the drum loud enough and make enough of these videos, maybe we get something done. But, the history, most of you, of where I've worked and where I've gone. So I don't have a lot of faith in government. I think you know that. But like Brian says, at least we will know. And, maybe by doing this, we can help the family somehow. At least they know that we care, and we care enough to keep digging and to keep looking into this. But this is, a big one. And if other individuals have found this, and that's awesome. I think that a lot of us have come to the same conclusion on this. That this is definitely the kind of a telltale sign of two shooters here, or two, not two shooters. So forgive me, two people being involved. That's the other thing to think about. So there was. Let's take it that there were two people there. That does not mean there were two people in there when the shooting started. I kind of find that hard to believe, but whatever. I mean, they could have come in, helped them set up, and left. Who knows? There's a lot of different things that could have happened. What's up, 1005? And let's see. Let me go back to your comments here. Pastor Mo, I read says that I read an old article today where they said they had a video of Paddock at Ogden. Wonder if we'll ever see it and who was with him there. And Brian Baca says there's been so many things that have been discovered in these dumps that without a doubt prove this was a coordinated terror attack on U.S. soil. Nothing becomes of it. Yeah, that's just sad. There's questions that need to be answered, and this is off of their own damn reports. This isn't just what they would like to say is the ravings of lunatics on YouTube or something. This is their own stuff. Okay, they released this to the public, so I think we're justified in getting an answer on how they suggest that Paddock was in two places at once. How is he swiping his card and inside on the outside trying to swipe his card to get in, but on the outside or on the inside opening the door for himself? Apparently that makes no sense. No sense. And this is from their own logs. And Brian, another thing to consider is they'd probably just say, oh well, we discovered that the minutes were off, and then they would just trim it down to whatever made it work. That's probably what their answer would be. Moondrop says, great, you brought this up again. It was mentioned once and never mentioned again. I wish I would have heard it the first time, and I would have, I wouldn't have wasted so much time on other stuff. I would have looked into it way earlier for myself and then done a video on it. I actually feel, because I think I mentioned like 3 live streams ago. Oh, yeah, I might have been before I closed down my other channel. I said that, I want to go through these door logs, but I just kept focusing on the body cam footage looking for something. Honestly, that's like been taking up most of the free time I have to do this research. But finally, last night I was like, we need to look at this. We actually need to look through it. And after hours and hours of doing this, we came to some same conclusion that others have come to before us, that these logs prove that there is 2 people involved. And this is based off of their own evidence, meaning this is what was provided in their own report. So good luck explaining that one away as the, as some mysterious crap that we just made up. Good luck with that. But like I said, they probably just say, oh, well, the minutes were off. And then they would give us an amended version that would have the minutes, to where this is meaningless and it doesn't matter anymore. And Moondrop says he gave up on the body cams. Yeah, I know. I mean, they're good for, getting a sense for what happened and things like that. But I mean, and they're not easy to watch, a lot of them. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else we can learn from there. They're useful in the sense, like when we're looking to check things out, like how things were situated in the rooms and things. But yeah, there's only like a few body cam footages that are worth something. But I keep going back to the fact that the Las Vegas police didn't want them released. That's what makes me want to go through them. It's like, what the hell were they not showing? And if it wasn't for court order, we would never see those things, rather than that quick blurb that they gave out at the, a couple days after it happened, where they put together that montage of their officers. That would have been probably all we ever would have seen if it wasn't for that judge. So it's good to know not all judges are bad, I guess, huh? Oh, 1005 says huge support for 2 people preparing room target. The guy left, the fuel tanks failed to blow. That scenario fits. I think 1005 might be using the adjoining scenario that fits together, adjoining door, and the same number of tools and gun platforms. Oh, Yeah, I had no problem. Rooms. So do you think that there was two people shooting? Let me ask you that, 10. Do you think that was the case? Or do you think there was two people maybe in the room and then one left and it was only Paddock in the room? How do you see that playing out? And while I'm waiting for you, it's Pastor Mo says, "Oh, is asking 10 if he's ever considered Campos being in on this. We don't have any evidence yet that they checked him for gunpowder residue, do we?" Well, interesting. I heard that those gunshot residue tests aren't even admissible in court. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not a lawyer, but I heard it somewhere. Let me flip back over to this one. And I got the handy dandy report open here if anybody wants to look at anything in it. It's just super fun all the way around. Here's some shots of the fuel tank. Yeah, and another life when I first joined the military, I used to work around jet fuel all the time. That was unpleasant. And see down here. So anyway, if you guys want to look at this stuff, look at these logs for your own. Most of you probably, I know a lot of you printed this out already, but it's down here in Appendix B and A and B, I believe. Not B and A and B. Block interrogation for room 30 or interrogation. Is that what it? Okay, whatever. For 135 and 134. So you can go through them and look at it. It goes back quite a ways. Pretty interesting. Interesting, worth looking into. In the coroner report here. Okay, so 10:05 p.m. says no one shooter, one running cameras. Overwatch. Fuel tanks failed to blow. Guy says screw you and leaves. Closes adjoining door. I could totally see that. Yep, I could see that as a possibility. Moondrop says we are supposed to see all footage according to the courts. I want to see him sitting in casinos all night long on September 29th, as the final report says. Very good point. Moondrop again says because someone was in his room at that time. Oh yeah, that's a very good point. There's another. Look at God. This is from their own reports. That's what's so damning. This is from the stuff that they released. Did they not go through this and think that these, or they just assume nobody's going to look this up? And Pastor Imo says, I've just always had a feeling this was an inside job, that someone who worked for in Mandalay Bay was in on the terror plot. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's any doubt. There's at least two, unless, and so all these other times with the door, everything worked fine. I'm sure they'd say. Otherwise, they wouldn't have released this report. So there's no excuse for them to say when confronted with this evidence, oh, no, that doesn't make sense. This is clear evidence that there was two people. Like I said, that involved. He cannot be simultaneously having errors with his card outside swiping, and he cannot simultaneously be inside opening the door. There's no explanation for that aside from a minimum of two human beings being involved. And Moonjob says September 29th, 2:35 to 5:43 a.m. Interesting. And the final report saying he was sitting in the casino at that time, but somebody was in his room. And this is another thing. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen any cameras from the hallways or anything like that. Are you telling me these hotels don't have any cameras in the hallways? Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I would just assume that because the second law enforcement got into that room, from what I've seen from the body camera footage, when they got into the lobby of the Mandalay Bay, they're screaming out for security so they can go to the surveillance room to try to figure out what's going on. That would lead me to believe that they're familiar with the fact that that hotel has cameras everywhere and they could potentially find the shooter. So, you know, I would think that that would be something that just something to point out, you know. And Moondrop says he'd like to see that video too. And Moondrop points out you cannot be continuously gambling and someone in the room if there's one person involved. That's not going to happen. There we have, and then Moondrop says there we have 3 good items to put in video. And 10:05 p.m. says, okay, you now see 2 people. Next, you have to go to what they did and last opportunity for exit. Hello. And Pastor Mo says Moondrop's correct. Can't be doing both. And 10 points out at 10:12 p.m. last opportunity to exit. Oh, I cut it off. Dang it. There you go. Yeah, this is a pic of it there. Deadbolt. I thought we cut the whole thing. Sorry, I'm zoning out looking at that thing. My apologies. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see. I mean, this is off of their own evidence, so that's all I've got to say. But please, I mean, if you guys come up with any kind of holes in that theory, or please go through this yourselves and come to your own conclusion. And the more eyes we have on this, the better. But other people ahead of me have already come to this conclusion. I've come to this conclusion. My daughter came to this conclusion. I mean, we're, just simple folk, I guess. But when the more eyes we get on this and the more people that agree, the more certain I feel about this. I mean, I'm 99.9% sure this is evidence of some sort of conspiracy. And that escalates it to a whole new level for me, because I really was starting to go down the path that maybe there was some kind of a conspiracy. I already know there is, but I mean, there must be some kind of conspiracy as far as the FBI. We know that it looks like Mary Lou Danley was getting funds from the FBI. So, okay, we know that. I would almost bet anything that probably Paddock was as well at some point. And they didn't want that connection at all. And I thought maybe that's why they've been so stonewalling and wanting this to go away. But now I'm starting to think that, nope, there might be a little bit more to it. I mean, might be just a ginormous, Gordian knot of junk that we're just cutting through right here. Let me see what you guys are saying. And 10:05 says 134 door log is blank after 9:46 p.m. Yeah, Moondrop can't see it sideways. I know. That's why I cut it from the thing and made a picture out of it. Yeah, I know. It sucks. I think maybe that's why they intentionally released it that way. So they were trying to think that, hey, we'll make it really freaking annoying. Because I'll tell you honestly how I did it. Like I told you, I took a screenshot of it, or clip art of it or whatever, and then I wrote it out on notepad paper like 3 times. That once I zeroed in on this one spot just to make sure I wasn't screwing it up. I probably never thought anybody would go to that much trouble, especially if they made it sideways and confusing and irritating. But hey, maybe it's like reverse psychology, where you like leave the evidence in plain sight, assuming nobody will look at it. Who knows? Pastor Mo says, and if Campos was in on it, somehow LVMPD didn't see him till 10:18, right? And Moondrop says, I know Campos isn't the sharpest knife, but hard could he miss the service cart in the middle of the hallway? Yeah, that's kind of a good point. And Mood Drop says it is the first thing he sees exiting the stairwell. Yep. Flip it in Adobe. I don't have the Adobe though. I've got this junk or this stupid thing. Can you flip this? You can't, can you? You can't flip this, can you? I'll get better stuff. I promise. Oh, I was just informed by my assistant that Microsoft Edge sucks, but that's why I like Chrome. But I don't. Oh, I'm no. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll come back next time with the whole thing correct. How about that? But the point, the part I really want to point out though is that 931 again to the 933 part. I mean, that's to me, that's the evidence right there that there's two people. And then you go back into the points that have been brought up right here, like Moondrop said about the report saying he's gambling, but yet there's somebody in the damn room. I mean, I really think they just thought that it wasn't going to work. Fast News says NBA computers hacked, Paddock rooms switched wings, and 134 added. Paddock had no idea he had two rooms. Setup began. And 1005 says, talking to Pastor, says, you are correct on that. Campos last 7 weeks is back at Mandalay Bay working. And Pastor says he got a raise too. And Holly is asking, why did Paddock ask for room 235? Thanks, Tim. You guys are awesome. But I really, I was actually like all day at work. I was like, I want to get a live stream out and get your guys' opinion on this because I was one of those things where you really like badly want feedback. Am I nuts or is this what I think it is? Which I really think it is what I think it is. Pretty clear cut evidence that there was two people. In my humble opinion. And this is the damning part right here. When you have both of those logs right there, but you cannot be on the outside trying to get into the room and then opening the door from the inside. I'm sorry. That's not possible with the design. Maybe it would have been possible when after the SWAT team blew the damn door off, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have worked that way before. And Holly says, why did he go to El Cortez twice and gamble for less than an hour there that week? And Moondrop says, I'm not nuts and I'm doing a great job. Thanks, Moondrop. I'm glad to hear that. And Pastor Mo is asking, Fast News, do you have proof Mandalay Bay computers were hacked? And Fast News says, was any ID found in 134 belonging to Paddock or anybody? I believe there was. According, and again, it's according to the evidence in here. I don't know where it is, so you're gonna have to bear with me while I scroll through this. Unless somebody happens to know the page number where they show the contents of his wallet. Isn't it around here somewhere? I think it's around here. Okay, so hold on. So this is in the room. And that's his lady friend, Mary Lou's M-Life card. But that individual looks like homeboy with his brains all over the place. Well, I guess not. He didn't really, you know what I mean. Dead over there in the corner, that way. So if you're, I mean, I can tell you, I heard him rough, going through it on the body camera footage also. So, but for quick stuff, I can show you that. I mean, that's what the police provided. 134. He's asking 134. Well, there's homeboy. Does anybody know the answer to that one? Was there anything of Paddock's or tied to Paddock at 134, not 135? Aside from the guns, I'm assuming that they're saying were registered to him. And this is 134. Guess he wasn't a coffee drinker. And then it goes to the damn stuff. So I don't know. I would say if I was Las Vegas police, I would probably say yes. There were things of his found in the room, the guns. I'm just giving you their answer. And there's the car. Mm-hmm. And then the famous inventory of the weapons. All right, Holly says, I think Mandalay Bay computer was hacked to add Campos to the employee log. His name was the only one without a phone number. Interesting. Moondrop says he was always leaving the rooms via 134. Interesting discussion. I'm enjoying this. I can't get over those. AR-15 223 with bump stop, vertical foregrip, 100 round mag, no sights or optics. Yeah, and I need to point something out. Somebody, it was not me. It was Mr. Burgundy, I believe, pointed this out that about the hand moving, and somebody commented. It was weird because it like came up on my channel, and like I wanted to reply to the comment, but then it like disappeared. So I don't know if the person deleted it or whatever. But they said, dead bodies move, and unfortunately, that's something I have experience with. And yeah, they move a little bit, like right after they die, and that's about it. They don't move a whole as much as that was showing hours and hours later. That's not how it works. But anyway, I was going to reply to that, but then it was like the comment disappeared. So I don't know. Moondrop says he would check both door locks before leaving and when returning. Yeah, probably prudent when you got a freaking armory in your. Oh yeah, remember this one? AR-10 .308762 with bipod scope and 25 round magazine, but there's no magazine. Interesting. Fast News says, only heard rumor or not that hacks have occurred in the past. Any major group planning this could easily have this in their plan. Paddock was not a one-man show. And Holly says, where's the missing gun he bought the day he checked into the Mandalay? And Moondrop's asking Fast News, sorry, not understanding what is the purpose of a hack? And where's the missing gun? Yeah, wasn't that weren't they saying it was that bolt action? Let me see. Are these all? Where am I at here? 135. So I need 134. I think that's where it was. Yeah. 25. Yeah, I don't. Where the hell is it? Expended 308. 8 shell casings. Yeah, I'm not seeing that that bolt action anywhere. Moondrop, or sorry, excuse me. Holly says he bought it from Bundy's old security guard. Bundy's old security guard? Oh, from like the Like the Bundy, the ranch, folks? Or am I missing something? Am I missing something? Let me look through these weapons again. Talk amongst yourselves, please. Keep the conversation going. Cold. AR-15. FNH. Daniel's Defense. AR. M4. ARs. Another AR. This is the one that you saw right when you got on the door. Yes, the ranch, Holly. Yes, the ranch. Okay, cool. Just making sure. I want to make sure I wasn't like totally lost. I'm not very hip. You guys know that. Pastor Mo says 2 guns had no magazines according to fit. Why would you bring guns to a shootout without any magazines? Or did I misunderstand that part? No, it's just it says that there's like a magazine in it, and there isn't. It's just you see it says 308 with bipod scope and 25 round magazine, but you can pretty clearly see there's no mag in there. 25 round mag is about that long, a little shorter maybe. I think that's a 30 round. No, that's 25 round. Yeah, so that's what it would look like, and there's clearly not one there. Sorry, I don't have an AR-10. I'd really like one, but I don't have one. Expensive. You guys seen how expensive these AR platforms are nowadays? Jeez. Mighty expensive. Fast News says Moondrop. They say Paddock originally was in room 32235. Hotel then internally changed his room to 32135. This is where somebody may switched where somebody may switch the rooms in computer hack. So that would be like the moment they would have hacked it. And Holly's looking for the length of the weapon. And then Moondrop says Fast News, gotcha, but how do you highlight Moondrop? Okay. Green, so I'm looking for something green here. And there's that stupid scuba crap he made in there. Spotting scope, driver's license, live ammo, scuba mask, empty mat rifle magazines. 134. Another AR. Here we go. Ruger American. Right there. There it is. I found it. Took me long enough, but I did. So that's that one right there. That's what you're talking about, Holly? Yep. Ruger. Looks like it's got a nice muzzle brake on it. Mm-mm-mm. And then it goes on to these other ones, the AR-10s. But yeah, I guess that's the bolt action there. The green one. What the hell is that? A diaper? You see that? Look. I mean, I'm just saying. That's what it looked like. All right, curiosity is getting the better of me. What the hell is that? Let's see how far we can zoom before it's like totally pixelated. That seems to be about the limit. Huh. Well, there's a really good view of the green bolt action. So, Holly, if you're still there, I think that's the one that you were looking for. Yeah, messy room. I was kind of curious what the hell that is. Now I'm thinking maybe I don't want to know. Some gloves or something. What the hell? It's like a nice rifle though. All right, let's zoom back out. We get it. Ruger American. Oh, that was the name of it. Huh? American. Let's see what else he got in that room. More AR-10s. Laptop computer connected to hallway surveillance cameras. Polymer 25 round AR-10 magazine loaded. Expended 308 casings. 8. Count them. 8. And Moondrop says, I do not understand what the point of escaping would be. It was his room. They would have caught him in no time. Hey Holly, did you see that one though? The one I was pointing to right here? This 308? Ah, sorry about that. Forgot to close my. Sorry about that. So I think that's the green bolt action right there, the Ruger .308 with scope. So, anywho, suitcase and towels, boxed ammunition. You have boxed ammunition? I didn't see pictures of that, did I? I seen like a bunch of stacked magazines. I never saw the. Yeah, maybe. Oh, wait, in there. Yeah, actually, I did see that. Okay. Talking about in the vehicle, I think I saw some boxed ammo in there. All right. All right, 10:05. You take it easy, man. Or Ted. 10:05. There we go. So, yeah. Anyway, just to put a period on the end of the sentence, if you only caught the end of this stream here, just remember this one part here. Air code, air code, doors open from the inside. Paddock can't be on the outside getting air codes and simultaneously be inside opening the door. That's not how it works. Mahali says the site says it wasn't found in the room. Yeah, well, I mean, according to the report, everybody has their own varying degree of faith in the report, but according to that, at least that's allegedly, but not that one. I'm pointing to that rifle, but that's not the one in question. That is right there, the Ruger American .308 bolt action rifle with scope. Campos, Pete Strybent says Campos was hit with frangible rounds, right? That'd be my guess. And I saw a bunch of red tips in there, and red tips are polymer tip frangible ammunition. So I would say and based on just my medic experience and combat and seeing the the round. That's it being at as little damage as it seemed to do. Yeah, that's what my guess would be. I can guarantee. I can positively tell you, Pete, that I saw a bunch of polymer tipped frangible rounds in the magazines they had stacked up there. And Pete says .308 was I can't even pronounce that. Threnanal frangible rounds. Thenanal. Okay, if I try it too much, I'll make it worse. And Pastor Mo says, honestly, I'm probably in the low majority, but I don't think Paddock fires a shot. Moondrop says, what is a frangible round? Frangible round is a round that basically breaks apart when it hits something. Like there's for example, there's ceramic rounds that are frangible, but yeah, think of it as like the ones that Paddock were using. We're using the red tip, we call them red tips, which has a polymer plastic tip basically, but underneath that is basically a hollow point on the 223 round that hits you. Basically, the round disintegrates, and so that's why it's called frangible, because it fragments typically. And Pete says 1005 said there was no damage in the opposing door. Yeah. 18-inch barrel, Holly says, for this 308, the bolt action. Yeah, looks like, I mean, it looks like an 18-inch barrel to me. It's 2 inches longer than my AR, so yeah. Looks about right to me. But like, I mean, I've said this so many times, and I hate repeating myself, but I still say that the way a lot of these weapons look, they look like they were set up for a gun deal. No optics, no sights or optics. Vertical foregrip, 100-round mag. Lots of rifles, lots of long guns for one man. That's for sure. Yeah. There was very obvious. Pete's pointing out there are very obvious arrows showing 2 rounds in the still standing 135 door. Yeah, I think I remember that. Is that this? So this is the door they breached to get into 134. So homeboy must have fired his rounds into that, I guess. Levi, because he's said he fired into there. I can't get over that stupid funnel thing. Every time I see that stupid snorkel thing, I don't know. That's just so dumb. Pete says 66. What page am I on? Damn. Where am I at? I'll keep looking. I think I know what you're talking about. I'll find it. Please look at look at the chat. Don't look at the screen. I know. Trying to. If I go slower, then it takes longer. But I know it's not fun watching a screen roll past like this. Whoa, a bunch of comments. Pete says The Walking Dead has rifles with no sights. Oh well. Holly says Paddock was involved in shady activities for a while before this. And Pastor Mo says, not sure if anyone knows for sure what Campos was hit with, and neither does he. LOL. Yeah, because he's like, oh, it's a BB gun. I mean, I don't know. I've seen people like get shot and they didn't realize they were shot, because of the adrenaline. But I've never seen somebody like who was hit with an assault rifle round come out of it and say, "Oh, I think it was a BB gun." I mean, I don't know. Of course, I guess in Iraq you're expecting to get shot with an assault rifle. You're not expecting it, but you got to play devil's advocate. And, Holly's asking, is Campos alive? I believe so. Oh, the original fit report. Oh, that one. Uh, oh, 66. Who's that stupid snorkel? So on this one, Pete? Whoa. And Fast News says, so back to my point, was any ID, room cards, etc. found in 134, not 135, but 134? Then Pete says, give me a few seconds to find the pages. Yeah, go for it, Pete. Yeah. And Holly's asking, does anyone know if Adam Kachnicki, I don't know, I'm probably saying his name wrong, sorry, was ever interviewed by FBI? And Pete's saying page 74. So on the new one, it would be 74 then. Oh, did it switch me to this one? But on the original, it was 66. All right, let's see. I see 2 bullet holes already. Zoom in. All right, this is. Look good, Pete? Catch key. Oh, yeah, I guess that's how it would be pronounced. Catch key. Duh. I mean, Pastor Imo says Campos had to have been hit with a small fragment. And Pete says 1005 seems to think not. Are these here? Eh, I mean, you can see bullet holes. I don't know about this report. It might. Let me. God, I mean, I don't want to scroll through it, but there's a part in the final report where you can see well, I've seen it in the body camera when they go around the corner, look at 135 when they do their little peekaboo routine. You can see bullet holes, you know, out of the. I know the difference between an entrance and exit of a bullet, and those were exits of the door. So I mean, I saw them with my own eyes. Of course, I mean, unless they doctored that footage, I mean, I saw, that was prior to them blowing the hell out of the door. But you know, yeah. All right, let me zoom back a little bit. 1005. He says there aren't holes in that door. Keep looking on the OG fit report, the original. Stupid little hammer, bullet dope. Damage entry to room 132. So after they breached it. Man, Pete pointed out that the camera on that door is not connected to anything in the previous one. And Pastor Mo says snorkel throws me off too. For Paddock have been such a smart man, you think he would have thought of a better system there. Yeah, like a gas mask. you know, they're like $12 and online. And Pete says I'm the 134 picture of the hallway. There's no damage shown. 134 picture in the hallway. Do you what page on the original report? Which one are you talking about? Go to page 74. Okay. All right, let me zoom in. Well, this is 134. Well, yeah, because this is the other door. This is the one. This is if you open this door, it would get to that food cart thing, right? Am I wrong? Because this is hallway room 32134 with food service cart. Because he had two carts, as I remember. This is, and you could tell this is on the inside looking out because he's got that stupid fire thing that the feds make you have if you own a business. Look closer. But I mean, there shouldn't be any damage to this door. They didn't, there was nothing. I mean, are you talking about the crack? Oh, the door 1005. Okay, I got you. I was a little lost there for a second. I was like, are you talking about I thought we were talking about bullet holes, and I was like, well, yeah, shouldn't be any bullet holes. Ugh, I think when I zoom in like too much, it looks like crap. I don't see anything, but it's like horrible. Um, yeah, the quality's not very good. I don't know. What do you guys see? I've had Mo says I've had a broken femur, didn't realize it was broken right away because of adrenaline till I went to move my leg and then realized my hip and my femur were broken. So I guess it's possible with Campos. Yeah, and he could have just, there's also a possibility that the bullet hit something else, fragmented, and a piece of it just hit him, a little tiny part of it. That's just as likely. He's lucky because you get nailed with a 223 round that close. I mean, all those rounds went through was a door. It ain't gonna slow it down that much, and that range, yeah, that'll make you not, yeah, not be happy. And Fast News says you won't see crack on inside. Yeah, I know the other photo. It does look like it's cracked in that photo in the final report. But yeah, I see right there. I don't see any damage to it, but just it is kind of crappy quality. But all right, let me zoom back out. I want to go. Oh yeah, there we go. So, and now this is back to the original one. Now the one that looks like it's cracked is right here, and it does look cracked. I mean, I told 10 that all I could say is the body camera footage of when they went in there that whatever that is, if it is damage, it wasn't present when they were clearing the room. So I don't know. And Pete's asking, how did Campos notice the peephole but not the cart? Yeah. In this creepy I mean, I just me personally, my eye would have been directed right on that. That just doesn't look right. Like a black device looking thing with a plate over the top. I mean, that would be what the hell is dude, why is there wires going into that room? You know, I don't know. Maybe he's just not that inquisitive. Yeah, apparently Compost just didn't quite see this. I don't know. You could see all the damage from the breach, all the air that rushed off. And like I pointed out in the one video that the do not disturb sign was still on the door until they breached this door, and then the wind blew it off. But I mean, it does look cracked. I don't know what to tell you. It does look like it's cracked. 10's not crazy. It looks cracked. And Pete says the silver lid is shown on the cart, then it's shown on the floor. My boss would have hung me if I didn't notice the cart. Yeah, kind of important detail in that situation. And Pete says they only use explosives if they suspect someone is alive. Otherwise, manual breach. Yeah, because if you're not worried about the point of a dynamic entry is to go in and overwhelm people who are alive before they have a chance to attack you or counterattack or defend their positions. That's the whole purpose of it. If you're going in there for a corpse, you can just kindly ask security for a key card and or you boot the door. But yeah, they thought he was still possibly kicking or waiting for him. What's really bad, and I mean, I'm glad it didn't go down this way, but this is something I noticed from watching the body camera footage. Let's say Paddock didn't die at that when they say he did. Let's say he was just sitting in there waiting. And when they breach this door right here, and then you see Levi come out and then a couple other of the officers come out. If Paddock would have been waiting the way they came right there, it could have been a bloodbath because he could have fired from around this position here, nailed them. The return fire down the hallway wouldn't even come close to hitting Paddock if he was smart enough to stay back around this way. It just could have been a bloodbath. So it's very good that they did what they did. And I don't like to pick on law enforcement because they're trained to do things differently than I was in the military. So I don't like to. But I'm just saying that the way they kind of went in there, I'm glad. I mean, that could have been nasty. All right, let me see what I missed here. Fast News says, wouldn't the do not disturb sign hang over the crack? Yeah, but when even after the disturb sign, like when it blows off, if you can, Fast News, if you can go on my channel, look at a couple videos I did. I did like 3 videos on it. If you look on there, you'll see yeah, it would have covered it, but then there's the explosive breach, the wind blows it down, and then later when they're all sitting in the hallways talking about it, you could see in the body camera footage it shows clearly the door right there and there's no damage at all. This thing, by that time the do not disturb sign was gone. So good question though. And Pete says, exactly, why did they think Paddock was alive? Mm-hmm. And Moondrop says, someone earlier said Campos got a raise. Is that true? And Pete says, why didn't Paddock go into 134? And Holly points out, yet they knew the threat was over. Pete says he could have wrecked the SWAT team through the door. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, it would have been a bloodbath because they were stacked up in a line. And he had rounds and he had weapons that were very capable of zipping through those vests. I mean, and those vests don't cover everything. And it would have been, and this guy had fully automatic weapons basically with those bump stocks. Or, yeah, that would have been bad. And those guys down the hall that were taking cover, covering the entry team could have fired all day long. And as long as Paddock stayed over around that way, they wouldn't have hit anything. So that could have been really bad. He could have basically wiped out that entire entry team. It would have been a denied entry. They would have had to have backed out. I mean, and then they would have been shooting like crazy into there and probably not hitting much. Oh, yeah. I could see that just turning into the Wild Bunch in no time. And Pete points out 134 through the door into the foyer door funnel. So Pete. Pastor Mo says you can tell the crack in 134 is larger at the bottom than the top. Like down there, as opposed to up there, it gets thinner. Pete says Paddock should have been in 134 to create most damage. Yeah. Fast News says, like 10 video, minor crack you would not see looking directly, but from the side you can see a slight crack. Just asking is all. I looked at it from so many different angles, though. Those body cameras, remarkably enough, they walked around that area a lot from multiple different angles. And not only that, I got pictures, still frames of it with the flashing emergency lights going off on it, so you could see even more detail. I mean, if you watch my videos, you judge for yourself. I'm not saying I'm an expert in anything, but I put there what I found, and on my estimation, I didn't see any damage on it. That doesn't take away from the fact that 10 pointed out that this door looks cracked, and I agree with him. It does. I totally agree with him. I'm just saying if it happened after the fact, I really don't care because it doesn't have much to do with the shooting. But good question, so. And Holly says nobody thought to have a bomb sniffing dogs. I think they like if you watch like the canine officer Bitsko when he said put the dog away like when I think Officer Newton tried to grab the dog, he told him to put it away. I don't know if that was a bomb sniffing dog or what. I honestly I don't know much about those type of dogs, but something like that happened. And Pastor Mo says, by crack, I mean where it fits long ways to the door jamb, not the crack horizontal you see under the handle. Crack under the door jamb. Yeah. And I can't give you a good explanation on how the door would have been cracked after the fact. I mean, I don't have a good explanation for it. I don't have a good explanation for how Paddock could be the only person involved, yet he's opening doors and simultaneously. So he's scanning a key card simultaneously with this door closed right here, just so you guys can get a visual of, what evidence I was talking about at the beginning of this video having to do with, where it says 134 here. Specifically having to do with where am I at again? Or in 130? Or correction, I'm sorry, 135. Till I'm getting tired, I'm starting to lose it. So no access. This is at 932. Now we know at 931 it looked like he went into room 134. But over here you've got somebody on the outside swiping the closed door. We know it's closed because it says so right here. And error, no access to room. Error, no access to room. The door is open from the inside. So how is Paddock on the outside, but also inside opening the door? That's another thing I can't explain. Moondrop says he could put tannerite by the door and boom. Yeah, good point. He had enough of that stuff. He could have blown that whole room to holy hell if he wanted to. Or, oh, yeah. Good point. You guys always have great points. And Pastor Mo says he was joking about the Campos getting a raise, but he probably did. He bet he did. I would imagine he would. Holly says she feels like some part of this will lead to the Philippines. Pete says tannerite in a cart would have been huge. Oh, yeah. He could have hidden it down there, waited till. Oh, yeah, that would have been nasty. And Moondrop says, Pastor MO, not sure if that is a shadow going long ways. Can I zoom in any more on it? Maybe I can. Yep, it's 1,000%. And Holly points out ordering 2 meals at a time. Check through hot SOS time. Correlate it to this. And for the rest of 100, yeah. And Pastor Mo points out that the team clearing rooms down the hallway would have been hit too. Oh yeah, if you put tannerite all around, oh my god, it would have. Remember when they got done breaching the damn room, they were still pulling people out that were right next to this room. I mean, that crap could have. God knows how much damage it could have done. I mean, it more than likely could have hurt them, the civilians as well, or whoever they were. I don't remember. I think the child that was left alone was a few rooms away, if I remember correctly. And Pete says someone would have seen him putting the card out. I have to believe these damn hallways have cameras. I just have to believe that. I mean, maybe that's why we haven't seen one camera from the hallway. I don't know. Or maybe they don't. I mean, I've never worked at these places, so I don't know, but it just seems to me like they would have them. And Fast News says was cracked when all those cards were tried swipe days before by the bad guys. Nobody noticed, and do not disturb sign over it would add to nobody noticing for 1.5 days. It is so minor of a crack. And then Moondrop says, yes, tannerite on the cart. The door opens very slowly and he stands back and fires into the tannerite. Kaboom. And Kelly points out, how is that guy sleeping so soundly, not being woken up by gunfire? Was he drunk? I don't remember. The dude they dragged out. I mean, I don't know. When I used to drink, I got pretty twisted sometimes, and I probably wouldn't have noticed gunfire. You actually kind of get used to it in a sick way, like things like that. Like, I don't know. In Iraq, I always slept better when our artillery was firing, meaning ours, our 105s. I don't know. It just made me sleep better knowing that our rounds were going out. Sometimes, because I live close enough to Fort Lewis, I can hear their artillery at night, and it reminds me that I always sleep better on those nights. That's how twisted I am. I sleep good listening to artillery fire. Not so much when it's aimed at me, but when it's aimed at others. And Pete says they don't have them in the hallway. That freaking sucks. Daniel M says only 50% of hotels on the strip have cameras in the hallways. Article LA Times. That sucks. Ugh. I mean, I never saw anything. I was looking like in a lot of the pictures and body cameras, seeing if I could see anything, but I thought maybe they had them hidden so well or something. That sucks. Because that would answer a hell of a lot of questions now, wouldn't it? But then again, like I said, I can't remember how many times they said in the report, but they said they had like how many sightings of Paddock caught on camera? Like, I don't remember the number, but it was at least in the hundreds. I certainly haven't seen that much footage of him being released, unless I'm missing it. I mean, they have released some footage of him sitting around and smoozing, talking to the baggage dude, but yeah, not much more than that. And Kelly's saying, I'm still baffled by how he broke the unbreakable window. And Pete says someone from 100 had to have seen him. There was so much action, or so much action from the concert. So much action. I think that's what you're saying. And Moondrop says they certainly have cameras in the casino. I want to see him continuously gambling all night. I will sit here and watch it for 12 hours. I'm with you. I would too. I mean, it'd be boring as hell. I've done worse. You just, you sussed. I don't know if you guys saw the projects I did on my old channel. I went through some really boring ass footage to put some of those together. And Holly says McCarran Airport is rumored to have some type of military offices underneath it. What if that is true? Maybe the real target, McCarran Airport? Well, I don't I don't know. I don't know. I was in the Air Force, but I don't know anything about that. I was never stationed in that area. Just fun places like Iraq and Alaska. And what other fun places did I go? Turkey. Yeah. Fun places. Kuwait, Oman, Israel. Israel actually wasn't so bad. Anyway, back to the point. Could tell when I'm getting distracted here. Pete says people were moving in and out. Someone had to have left the door open for Campos to have he hot SOS. Someone had to left the door open. And Pastor Mo says you can see long ways crack inside and outside photos of 134. See long ways crack inside and outside photos of 134. And Fast News says yes, hall cameras. I drunk one night, got up, went to the bathroom to stay. I walked in the hallway, my door closed, locked out, and that kid hotel guy was there in 4 minutes and opened my door. Oh, wow. That would suck. Pete says the babysitter was getting it on down the hall. Yeah, I saw the lady darts over and says, I got to get the baby. Yeah, didn't you think about maybe doing that when the freaking freak was, shooting down the hall? Maybe not right at that moment, but, when it died down for a minute or two. Jesus Christ. Brian Escu says, I like the theory that he had nothing to do with renting the second room. Would make sense why it was all done in Mary Lou's name. And Moondrop says, Fast News, too funny. That was a good story. Pastor Mo says, baby was in 126. Guy green shirt who exited was in 128. I've been studying thus recently. Awesome. Good info, Pastor Mo. Holly says, if it's proven that Mary Lou Danley worked for the FBI, then we will have a ton more questions. I think she did in some capacity. I think that's legit. I mean, my own personal opinion. I think the whole thing about that showing up on that credit request, I think it's legit. I think it's 100% legit, in my opinion. Because it just kind of goes and fits with what I already know about the federal government. Well, we all know. We all know what the feds, FBI particularly, is capable of. We've all gotten an education in 2016 and 17 and going into 2018 especially. And Moondrop, but he kept exiting from 134. Moondrop's pointing out. And Fast News says it was funny now, not at the time. Yeah, I wouldn't have found it funny at the time either. Hey, Return to Logic says, hi guys, been listening while assembling a new video. Awesome. We need these videos out. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody's been censoring my YouTube channel on this yet. I don't think I'm big enough. Wait till I get a little bit bigger or more views, and they might start doing it. I don't know. Maybe they don't give a damn about if we do Las Vegas videos. Maybe they're only after I don't know. They probably look at it as, oh, well, it helps with our anti-gun campaign. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Pastor Mo says, on a still night, you can hear the artillery out of Fort Hood. Old Fort Hood. It's where my dad was units out of First Cavalry Division, I believe, is out of there. And Return of Logic says Baby Wake Purdue was in 32130. The babysitter was across the hall in 32129. The hot SOS. All right, Holly, you take it easy. Good night. Pastor says babysitter Nanny was across the hall on 129. Interesting. Oy. Oh my. We've really been on for almost 90 minutes. Wow. And a long one tonight, guys. All right, well, just to sum up my final point on this, just please, if you get a chance, check out the door logs for 134 and 135, especially this part right here, starting at 932. Air code, air code. Doors open from the inside. And then you flip over to the other one and what happened previously to that. You'll see what I mean. So on room 134, starting at 931, you had an air code with this card, and he switched over to the other card, and that card was accepted. He opened the door, and he closed it. Okay, cool. And that's at 931. Alrighty. So then he moseys on over to here. One would think. He moseys on over, goes over, he tries this card. Nope, nope. Oh, but luckily somebody opened it from the inside. Yeah. I'll wait. Anyway. And Moondrop says, have we solved anything yet? I don't know. I've solved for myself that I think I'm definitely not ready to get rid of the possibility of there being more than one shooter in that room, more one person. This gives me a lot more belief that the conspiracy isn't just they're hiding some weird Fed relationship with Mary Lou and no Paddock here. I think that there might be hiding something even more nefarious now, because I can't get this room log. I can't get that to go with their narrative of one person. That's just not possible. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but it just doesn't work for me. And this is based off of their own evidence. So I'd love to hear them tell me that I'm nuts and I made this up. And if we actually had a responsive government, we could actually bring this to their attention and probably get an answer. But being that things are the way they are today, I don't know if we would ever get an answer. Pastor M.O. Holly, McLaren Air has Janet Air. Hey, quiet about that, Pastor M.O. Shh. Yes, there is a Janet Air that contracts with a certain base somewhere in Nevada. And Brian Escu says the second room was in her name, he would have it, or correction, Brian says if the second room was in her name, he would have no notification of being rented. Could explain the locks too. And Fast News says, do you think they are following channels to gather information to cover ideas all present before final FBI report? I don't know. They probably, I always wonder, like, what is their attitude about the public? And I always imagine that they look down on us like we're just idiots. I don't know. I've just always gotten that feeling when I've dealt like high-ranking government officials. They just always, I get the impression they just look at me like I'm a peasant, just an ignorant plebeian, which I guess maybe I am. But, they look at everybody like that. So maybe they just think we're not smart enough to do this, or we won't. They know, because we're all indebted and have economic slavery in this country. We're all working. Most of us are all working, either multiple jobs or, permanent, job of like me, 40, 50 hours a week. I don't have a lot of time to go through this. So maybe they think they just keep us so busy keeping their, so they can tax the hell out of us, that they think we don't have time to do this. And we just going to spend our time watching the NFL and drinking beer and taking keg stands and all that fun stuff. But, as much as I like keg stands and all that, I'm just too old for that. So this is what I do now. So I don't know. maybe they watch it, maybe not. I imagine they have people that their whole job is to scan YouTube all day and find things that are of interest to them. Let me see. And Fast News says, I agree about him not knowing he had 134 room. And then Brian says, I think Paddock opened it and they came in and killed him. It's possible. It is very possible. But then when would they get? I don't know. It's just so many what ifs. But it's very possible. Paddock said, oh, hey, come in. Bang. End of story. It is a possibility. And so it goes. I just tuned in after listening to a video Jen did on Delano rooms. I'd say definitely more than one person. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at least. I mean, I think this room log, just this alone. I mean, there's many other things, but just this alone right here, I think is complete proof that there's more than one person involved. At least there may be even, it could have been a squad for all we know. Granted, kind of hard to move that many people secretly, but obviously in my opinion, there's more than one. And it's not just this evidence. There's multiple other things pointing to it. And Brian says they didn't find Campos till after the shooting, right? No, Campos, they found him. The first cops on 32nd floor. It's on one of the body cams I have. I'm sorry, I don't know which number off the top of my head, but one of the ones I put on my channel, where that one cop, they're the ones that were outside when the shooting happened, and one of them says, "We got to advance on that dude," and he goes running up in there screaming, "Where the fuck is security?" Because he was trying to get security. That officer eventually got a security guard and got him up there, and they're the ones who made contact with Campos in the hallway, and he was wandering around with like his pant leg cut off, pointing out to the officer that he got shot by, quote, either a BB gun or a pellet gun. So, I mean, he was found, the police found him right up there. And then not just him, there were other Mandalay Bay people up there. And what really gets me about the body camera footage up there is when you see that big dude with the yellow shirt just walk out of the hallway all nonchalantly where the shooter's at. He's like pointing it out to the cops. That was a big dude wearing a big yellow shirt just wandering around right in the open like a big fat target. I mean, maybe he's really, really brave. I don't know. But like one of my old sergeants used to say, there's a very thin line between extreme bravery and extreme stupidity. So take that for what it's worth. Moondrop says on September 29th, according to final report, at 15:06 hours, Paddock checked into room 32134 under Danley's name from the VIP check-in counter at the Mandalay Bay. And Moondrop goes on, if he didn't know about the room, that is an out-and-out lie. Moondrop says, I don't know that they could get away with that. And Pastor Emo says, Moondrop, we know that there were two people involved by door lock codes. And then, the different things are good stuff. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I am working on a video though. I think you guys are really gonna like it. I don't want to give too much of it away because I want it to be a surprise. But anyway, it's gonna show a little bit visual representations of what went on with these doors prior to the shooting, and just remember one thing. I'm gonna put a notice on the video also. I don't know the seconds, so I have to estimate the seconds. As you can see, they didn't release the seconds, only the minutes. So I want to get that disclaimer out there right now. But it's going to be as accurate as I can make it, given to what's going on here. And it's hard to explain without you guys seeing it, but you'll see it, and I think you'll like it. All right, let me check out. I'll do a couple more comments here, and then I got to check out and go to sleep. And yeah, I got a car with a flat tire I got to deal with tomorrow, so that'll be fun. See, that's one of those times where I wish I was a high-ranking government official. I could have like an assistant deal with that crap. Or I wouldn't even drive myself. What am I talking about? And So It Goes says, all wandering around, I'd be squatting and hiding, no urgency in that hallway at all. Yeah, they were just like, doo doo doo, not tactically moving or anything. Whistling Cheek said, I recently heard a report about something near 1,000 cops on duty that night. Unusual? Question mark. And Moondrop is agreeing with Pastor Mo. And Fast News says Delano had 4 subjects barricaded on their 47th floor on October 1st evidence dump at around 2 a.m. on radio traffic reported by security, then nothing more said on radio about it. And Brian Eskew says, was it Paddock at the check-in? Do we know that for sure? I think they show the video of it. I'm not positive. I'd have to look back, but I think I have footage of him checking in. I'd have to look through the couple terabytes of information, but I think I do have that. And Moondrop says, yeah, Brian, well, it's on some video with a timestamp. Alan Dion probably worked for them. Interesting. But I mean, to me, that's the only evidence, I mean, it's interesting. I think you guys, when you see like the video, because I'm starting to notice, it's just bizarre. The whole half hour before the shooting, what went on with these rooms is bizarre. I mean, we know he was setting things up, and he was setting up the camera car. Somebody was, but there's some really clear evidence in here. Like Moondrop was pointing out about he's gambling all night, but yet he's in the room. Okay, and then on the day, a half hour before the shooting, he apparently is outside getting error messages outside 135, and then opening the door for himself simultaneously on the other side. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. Their report sucks. I mean, they obviously didn't go through it, or they just assumed that we're not going to go through it. So I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, other people before us have come to this conclusion. Me and my assistant, my lovely daughter here with her big brain, went through it on her own, and she came to the same conclusion. A lot of you've come to the same conclusion, and I trust you all much more and I trust myself and my daughter more than I do the folks who wrote this report. Sorry. And So It Goes, put out, but is Paddock doing all these room locks? Was he even at the hotel that evening? Last seen in the afternoon on video. Good question. You got a message, Anna. Moondrop. All right, guys. Well, I have had a blast. I think I gotta shut it down for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in so much, as always. I hope this was informative for you guys. I love it when we can have a few people on here and do these information sharing and all that. And by the way, so it's very important. I want to. So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking of doing live streams every Wednesday at 6 or at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just like I was thinking, if I set times, it'd be easier. I mean, obviously, it probably won't work for everybody, but I was thinking it'd be a little better if it was predictable and I didn't just like do live streams whenever. So I'm trying to do them a little bit more predictable. So Wednesdays and Sundays. And if you guys have, So It Goes in the UK. Hello, England. I was at, by the way, I was TDY to Milton Hall for a while. If you know, I'm sure you know where that is, but over there. So anyway, I think it'd be better if we make it a little bit more predictable like that. So I'll be doing it that way. And if you guys have any agenda items, if you just put them in a comment on any video of mine, like if you want to talk about something you found, just comment on a video and I'll see that and I'll just go ahead and put it on there for agenda item. But anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And so we'll do our next one on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This has been Patrick Hostis, my lovely assistant. God bless.